O'clock. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Tibor Bank. Peter Zan.
Here.
Freddie Smith Friend. Cheryl Cook. James Newman.
Present.
Jake Nicely. John Camden.
Here.
Kenneth Hunt.
Here.
That's all.
Okay, great. Thank you. Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The board members had an opportunity to review the minutes.
I move to approve.
I second.
1 second. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? All right. Minutes are approved.
Do we have a quorum? Do we need a quorum?
Oh,
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
And yes, we have one?
Yes.
1, 2, 3 is enough? Okay.
Hold on, I think it's,
What's the numbers?
7, right? We got 7. I think we got 7, yeah, because James is from the P and
He's
D,
not
so they
he's not a
count.
voting member.
Right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we got 7, so we need 4. Need one more.
we'll have to revisit this conversation.
Yeah. We can still hear the reports and
Yeah, you won't be able to take any official action.
affirmative, right.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, no quorum.
We're still in favor of the minutes anyway, but not officially.
Someone may show up.
Yeah.
Do we have a police report?
No, he's not here.
Oh, this is going to be a short meeting today.
Okay.
All right.
He's scheduled. Said he'll be here, so.
Oh, we can follow up later if he arrives. All right, staff reports.
All right. So for the first item, 6A, we have the beachside security update. So we did speak with Captain Nicolo, and after discussing, we concluded that we are able to have an officer downtown in the CRA area, but the question I would like to ask the board, are you open in the event that the officer is not present, will you be open to contributing to having additional security that is not an officer? So private security.
So what's the scenario if we don't have a city police officer, then we would have a private security come in?
That's correct. So there are only dedicated days that the officers can opt to take a particular schedule for downtown area for the CRA.
Oh.
And if they don't choose to to opt into the schedule, then the question to the board is, are you open to having private security?
How often would that happen?
That's something we don't know yet, so we're still in communication, but it's up to the officers to say, yes, I would like to be on the schedule, but as far as having a dedicated officer right now for the CRA permanently, that's not an option at the
Strictly
time.
volunteer, I mean, volunteer as far as
It's
getting
for-
an officer to do it.
Correct, for detail.
So we're talking an armed officer then?
Yes, sir.
And how is that funded? Does the CRA have funding for that, or?
Yes, we will be able to fund it.
Even private security?
For private security, that is a conversation I wanted to ask the board if you're open to contributing, and we can look further into what that looks like.
Well, I'd say probably yes, but I think we'd want to see a budget number on it. What you think that would be, is it 50% of the time, 20%?
I'd be
Okay.
interested
And
to see
then-
if it's
and then
during
what's the
peak
fee?
times too, Friday night, Saturday night, or Monday morning,
So with the conversation that we did have with the officer was there are some peak times based off of having a conversation with the local businesses. And that is early morning when the business owners arrive. But also, as far as if the officers choose not to do a detail, then I will go in and provide an update for you all as far as what private security looks like, so you can see what that cost would be.
I've noticed, coming to work a couple of times, that a favorite place to, I guess, maybe get the day started is either the parking lot right there by Jackie Robinson near Orange, or in the parking lot behind Jackie Robinson. And they're parked opposite directions so that they're window to window. Maybe they could do that on Beach Street.
Okay.
Just a casual place that, it's usually early. It's before 8 o'clock, so I don't know if they're off and gone by 8 when everything opens. But just, I came in this morning and there was a white Suburban sitting just kind of facing traffic, unmarked, but the windows were all blacked out. And I figured he's probably just, I'm gonna make sure I don't run this red light even though there's nobody around this time of the morning,
Yeah.
So it doesn't take much. Just seeing someone is enough to deter activity.
So
But
we,
get back to the point, it's gonna be cost. What's it gonna cost?
yeah, and we don't know the schedule yet, right?
No, so keep in mind this will be a detail. So that's something that the officers will choose if they choose to go off of a certain schedule. So for example, a schedule might be provided Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And if the officers choose to do this detail, if they do, great, an officer would be present. If they don't, an officer would not be present, and then that's something that the board has to decide if you want to tap into private security. And if we have the scenario where we have private security in the event that the officers aren't able to do the detail, then we can have a set schedule, because private security, we have a little bit more control as far as the schedule.
I saw
Based
one
off
in a
of funding.
four-wheeler the other day, and he was the park security though.
With so many unknowns, I feel like the question really is, do we want private security or not?
Yeah.
And is private security armed or unarmed?
Unarmed.
Okay.
And if I may, Mr. Chair, we've looked at the same security force that the Esplanade has.
Well, I guess we'll have to take all that into consideration, but we can't vote on it at this time anyway. We don't have a quorum, so we'll have to revisit it on next month's agenda. But
If you could, when it comes back though, if you could have some estimated numbers.
Yes, sir.
yeah, I think we had some estimated numbers last month.
Well, the private security was more expensive. We were trying to get the funding from the police department for the officers too, right? So that would be like a totally different thing.
But it's just a matter of it being voluntary for the officers to take that schedule.
So it's a cost for them. It wouldn't be voluntary, so it is a cost, and they would have
Right.
to choose
But they
to
would
do
have
the
to do
detail.
the schedule and the
Okay.
locations.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, since we aren't able to, make a decision on it, it might be a good idea to try polling some of the other downtown businesses and see how they feel, if it's a matter of paying for security, and what they'd be willing to contribute.
Yeah, we can revisit. As a matter of fact, a few of the other downtown businesses were on the board, so their input was valuable, but they're just not here today. So we can revisit it.
I think Shelley was the most vocal about this to begin with.
Yeah. So, okay. Explanation of the budget?
Yes, I made a phone call to everyone as well as send an email, because the previous meeting, there was some questions about the budget. So I will be reaching out again one-on-one to see what questions that you had with the budget, so then I can provide more clarity. That was my comments concerning that item.
got I don't know about a phone call, but I know we got an email.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll have to look it over more closely and see if we got any questions for you.
Oh, yes, please do. So I'm open to answering whatever questions that you have.
Oh, we're moving right along. Marketing updates.
All right. So with the marketing updates, so for expectation purposes, I will be providing you all with updates of various projects that's going on downtown so you can be aware. And then if you have any, just so you can know that you'll be seeing various things come through the mail and also provided to you at your businesses. So that's just the update. The plan is to make sure visibility is there, and you'll see what our staff is doing for the near future and then also currently doing. So that's just the update there. We'll just be more visible.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Thomas, we see several new faces up here. Can you introduce some of the new faces up there, please?
You see our city attorney,
Okay.
Mr. Jackson. Yeah, and you've met Angela and Michelle, our program managers.
I think this is the first meeting for Phoebe officially.
Oh, yes, it is.
Board secretary, Shanisha.
And Shanisha, the board secretary. Yes.
Well, welcome all the new faces. Thank you.
I apologize, Mr. Chair. Should have did an introduction beforehand.
Anything on the flooding updates?
So we're still gathering information, but once the information is completed, then I'll provide you all with the information via email.
What kind of info are you gathering?
So the questions were on a few streets like Magnolia and other streets that there were concerns about the flooding. So just speaking with some of the engineers and then also Public Works to see what they have gathered because they're still trying to resolve the issues. Some issues won't be resolved just because of how the city is as far as the land structure, but I do want to provide some type of update because we did say that we will.
Okay, great. Kiosk updates?
So we are looking at various vendors, and I wanted to just to update you all, we're still looking at how we're going to, different vendors that we're going to entertain, and as we begin to zone in on what company we will use, we'll provide an update as well as pictures, and then also demos for you in the future. So you can properly know how to use the kiosks.
And there, I think the kiosks that are currently in existence, there's 2 on Beachside and 1 on Main Street, I think it is. 2 on Main Street? Okay.
Yeah, these will be digital kiosks. So a lot of interaction will be going on and a lot of the technology will be there. So anytime you are shifting from going into a more of a digital type of platform, we want to make sure that, one, our board is educated on how to use it, and then, of course, the public.
My major skepticism about the kiosks, and I think I voiced this before, was I feel they're a major investment, correct?
Yeah.
And right now, so it's all about the data either way, what information is being put in, how relevant that information is. Is there somewhere now, the county website or whatever, that same, are we sourcing that same information? Do we have somewhere as an example we can see, hey, this information is changing or this information is stagnant, it's been here for this long, just to kind of have an idea, only because I know that it all depends on the data that we have and how relevant it is. And I don't feel as of now with what we have going on, there is that place, at least that I know of. If I were to go right now on the city website, I don't think it'll do a fantastic job with telling what's going on within the next month or so.
I'm so glad that you brought that up. That's one of the reasons why we want to have a kiosk, because it's in the public and we'll be able to capture data. I'm totally with you. Data is so important, and that's what keeps us going and growing effectively. So having the kiosk there will pretty much be an extension of what we currently have in the city. So as we begin to capture more data, we'll begin to see more traffic. So it's a lot of things that the kiosk will provide, but as we continue to get more information and zone in on what company we'll go with, I would love to have a one-on-one so I can further show you what the kiosk does, and whatever input that you have, please share.
Sure.
So I can add it to
Yeah, I just know
what we're
as
doing.
you know, just a resident myself, when I'll go look up something, example like Jeep Beach or something like that, it'll be very limited and possibly out of date, the information that's on there. And I would just hate to think that that's the same information that's just going to be on these kiosks.
So no, so going back to even the marketing, we're updating and making sure things are more relevant, and then the kiosks will have updates as well. So we are shifting and restructuring and making sure that all of the data that's out there, or even events or information, grants, all of that stuff is up to date. So as we are restructuring, you're just seeing the genesis stages of it, but as we continue to grow, you'll see the changes that you desire.
And this is just another maybe dumb question. Is it something that is like a slideshow, or people like touch screen and they can choose like, oh, I want to choose this, I want to choose that?
No, that's a great question. So it is touchscreen. It's very interactive. So we'll have a demo so you can be able to see it. But in short, it's very interactive. You'll be able to do various things on there. Some parts of it is a slideshow because that's where you'll be able to have the updates that you want to see or that we want to put out in the community. But other parts of other icons are very interactive as well. And we're also making sure that for those who have disabilities, they'll be able to use the kiosk as well.
I think done the right way, it could be a great asset, but obviously if it just
Absolutely.
sits there, then it'll just be waste.
Oh, no, we want to make sure it's very interactive. So those are great questions. Thank you.
Will, I'm sorry, will vendors downtown be able to input information into that, offer, if they're having an event in their venue, can they add that to the information in the kiosk, or?
So that's a great question. We are trying to see how we can effectively do that. That would be something we have to speak with legal about to see as far as limitations on certain items, because some events we definitely have to run it through legal to make sure that it's presentable, because at the end of the day, it's a reflection of the city. So we will have advertising options, but while we're in the planning parts, we'll see what's the best
Well,
fit.
as I work in the museum, we do regular lectures, things like that. And
Okay.
it would be nice to be able to get word out.
Oh, absolutely.
So, and other venues downtown do similar things. Occasionally they're little private events. It would be nice to get the word out. I think that's helpful for all of downtown.
Okay, so you're just saying for the events that are happening downtown or just
Right.
throughout the city? Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
or maybe throughout the city, I don't know.
Oh, yes,
You know,
yes,
anything that draws people is a good thing, right?
absolutely, yes. Well, that will be a part of the kiosk.
So it would be nice to be able to at least offer up, say, oh, we're doing this event, but then, of course, the city would have the ability to accept or decline it in the same way if you post something on Facebook or other public media, they may or may not allow that to go in. That's fine.
Yes,
I guess you
absolutely.
could make that call after you talk to legal.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
You mentioned vendors, and what came to mind was the farmer's market, because Cheryl was saying that they were having a difficult time when it was over at Jackie Robinson to get the vendors to come back. We went by there, I guess, it might have been this weekend, and it was huge where it is down here at the Esplanade. So I guess things have picked up quite a bit, but I'm wondering again, it's coming back to what you were saying, if I want to go online and go to the city's website and look up farmer's market and see what vendors are available at the market. Are they in there now, or that's planned for the future, or would be part of the data gathering, or where's that going?
So that is something that we're working on as well. It's just making sure that we have some updates on various events. And as far as the vendors for the farmers market, I don't have an answer for you for that.
Yeah, we don't have them right now in our kiosk. The
Just put
Esplanade
on the
has it.
website. The kiosk
It's not
might
on
be
the
nice,
website.
but the
Yeah.
website would be, but they've got to register with you, don't they, before they show up, some kind of a, or-
Not with the city, only the Esplanade.
okay.
Like a suggestion.
But there's still a source of signing up, so that
something for me, a suggestion would be like a non-physical Dropbox. Like if we were to imagine there would be a Dropbox right here on the outside of City Hall for any of the business owners for downtown. If they have something coming up, whatever, I come and just drop something off in there, and it has a little bit of information, maybe a photo or something. It goes to the attorney. They say yes or no, and we could have that in a digital version of it. Same thing as basically an email. Hey, you got something going on? Just shoot an email over there. It now gets added into the source of information that we just kind of always have, kind of updating itself. Just a suggestion.
Yeah, we're trying to work out the details of how that process is going to work, because if you are an existing business and you want to have maybe the lectures at the museum, you would send that request in to maybe it's our communication department, and they would vet that request, and if they deem it necessary to put it on the site, then they will put that information out there on the site for the kiosk.
Additional questions? All right. Moving to public comments. We have Mr. Javier.
We might as well just put you on the agenda from now on.
Javier Benavente, 614 South Street. I actually wanted to come up to speak about some of the security arrangements you all are thinking about. I think it's a great idea, orchestrating, what the Esplanade is doing and the investment they're making in security with what you might be able to do with that. The opportunity of actually having City of Daytona Police do that it could be expensive. And there might be other ways to bring in their participation less expensively. Just wanted to put on your radar screen, though, that you're also paying security indirectly along Halifax Marina. You may want to think about orchestrating security services there as well. And if you think about Halifax, it ends right there at Marina Point. South Street and that 7-Eleven is just another 100 yards. So maybe adding some patrols on that end of the beach, that south end of the beach, might be something you can do cost effectively, is what I'm thinking. That might help because you got the whole Beach Street then from South Street north. That might be patrols, so maybe think about that. The only other thing I think is a great idea is just, I understand correctly, this predates me, the pseudo-privatization of the Esplanade was done in large part to help with some of the security issues that the city was facing. And I know that allowed some differences in how that might be managed. The board may want to think about how those protocols might come over across the street on the beach and just make sure everything lines up. That's my only comment, but I think it's a great idea. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, Riverfront looks fantastic. Got very proud. Good job. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So you were looking at, one moment, you were just looking at extending the security all the way down to, let's say, Bellevue?
Betsy, to bring in Walmart.
South
Or
Street,
South Street?
which is outside. That's outside of at the end of our redevelopment area.
Where's redeveloped? Does it go to south?
I thought South Street was it, but maybe.
Yeah, it stops.
It stops.
Okay,
Yes.
Anything south of there would be outside.
gotcha.
Also, there was discussion about exactly what you mentioned, the security for Esplanade and have that extended over to Beach Street, but it's a different entity. The Esplanade is a private company. It was set up in a trust specifically so that it could be managed as far as public access, so that it could be closed at night and watched over and not misused. So when you get into Beach Street, that's a public right-of-way.
Right.
It's just a different scene. I don't, you just brought up the fact that we could be hiring private security for that, so it's not out of the question. It's just a matter of
And that was
logistics.
That was my thinking is that if you orchestrate and look at those services and get economies of scale and maybe share those services, the training has to be different when you go across the street. The protocols might be different, and you just need to be cognizant of that. That was exactly what I'm thinking.
I'm sure you've struggled with that plenty. Good point, though.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Any board comments? On anything?
Ron's not going to speak up, he's just listening today? Okay, no comments from me. I think the park looks great. I'm happy to see him doing so well with it, and we keep saying, well, we got to take a weekend. We did come over and go to Copperline and spend a little time on Beach Street Saturday, but we didn't quite make it to the park yet, so it's on the bucket list.
I've been getting a lot of feedback, positive feedback from walkers early in the morning on the Esplanade area, so very favorable. Just one of the constituents in the community had mentioned when they removed the light on Palmetto and Magnolia and put a stop sign there, they were just wondering if the same could be done on Palmetto and Bay Street. So it's just something that,
I love the four-way stop, because that's the way it was.
right.
Then the light popped up, and when you're coming in early in the morning and there's no traffic, there's a tendency not to pay that much attention to it. So, but the four-way stop has worked so smoothly, everybody pulls right up, and it just works like a charm. I think Bay Street's, I don't know who makes those recommendations, but that's a good idea.
Yeah. So I just wanted to put that out.
Well, all my comments were covered by pretty much everyone else here. But I just wanted to say it's good to be back.
Yeah, good to have you.
Welcome back. Any other
Too
comments?
bad you can't vote.
Board or
Mr. Chair, if I
staff?
could just formally introduce myself.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, just, I'm Anthony Jackson. I've been with the city, I'll be 25 years in January. Primarily doing code enforcement, police, but just for the first 7 years or so, doing the general land use and a lot of the business types of legal work for the city. And so I'll be the guy, pretty much. And I do have other times when I may have conflicts. I do those risk protection orders for the city as well. So when I do, we anticipate probably Mr. Grossi will come or someone substitute for him.
Good.
Okay, great.
Good to have you.
Ms. Fuqua?
I am Phoebe Fuquay. I have a background in redevelopment as well as business. So I've consulted businesses here throughout the United States and internationally, working with currently working with various entities, helping them scale their businesses, and also working internationally, focusing on economic development and redevelopment, helping focus on how their communities can grow. So this opportunity with the city came up for redevelopment, which was awesome. I grew up in Daytona Beach, and it was great to be full circle to come here and use my expertise here in the city. And the better place to do it is redevelopment, where you can see the fruits of your labor. So I look forward to working with all of you all and continue to make Daytona even beautiful than what it is.
Excellent, thank
Good
you.
to have you.
Ms. Campbell?
You want me to introduce myself?
Yes.
Hello, my name is Shanicia Campbell. I'm the new board secretary.
Yay.
And I guess that's all I have
Hey,
to say for now.
that's it. Thank you. Any further comments?
No, sir.
Meeting adjourned.